Mother Earth. She's not just walking. Mother Earth is crying every step of the way. And as Mother Earth cries every step of the way, she reaches to Vishnu Lok and she stands in front of Lord Vishnu. And Mother Earth bends her head, but tears are streaming down the eyes of the cow. Ever saw the cow on the butcher van? Ever saw the cow on the butcher van? You ever pass by the link up and see the goat? Huh? The goat saying, help me, help me, help me. And you saying, Corey, Corey, Corey. Huh? The goat saying, save me, save me, save me. And you saying, cookie, cookie. Huh? That's what you're saying. Crying for its life. Save me. I'm standing in death's way. I'm about to be destroyed. Save me. It says, Mother bends her head and she's crying and she says, Lord Vishnu, Pahi, Pahi, Trahi, Pahi, Trahi, Pahi, Trahi. Save me, help me. I'm begging you, O Lord Vishnu. Manush Pap. The sins of man has become so unbearable that I can no longer withstand the weight of sin on the earth. How sinful are you? How sinful are you? I remember one year in Ganesh Utsav in Palmis Park, they made the stage. And every time somebody will walk on the stage, I will get frightened because the stage will shake and rock, and it was made with, I don't even know what. And when the weight will come on the stage, I will start to sweat because I say eventually this stage is going to break down. And after the reading is done, everybody comes to see the Murti and comes to see the Baba, and everybody coming up, and they're coming up in a grub like coconut. And in my mind I'm saying everything going to crash. And I got worried, frightened. Weight. The weight of sin. If you have to take all the actions that you have performed during your lifetime that you consider to be sinful, or maybe others might consider to be sinful, how heavy will that jori be? How heavy will that jori be? A day will come when we will stand in front of Bhagwan. And you know what we're carrying? Tere dwari kara Bhagwan Bhagat Parde re jori. O Bhagat Parde re jori. Tera hoga bada ihsan ki jug jug tere rahi iman. Bhagat Parde re jori. O Bhagat Parde re jori. One day we'll try the jori about karma. Sintra, how heavy the good deeds will be and how heavy the bad deeds will be. Which jori heavier? Huh? You ever gave thought to that, Jagannath? Which one will be heavier? If you have to put the good things in a jori and the bad things in a jori, Dave, which one will be heavier? Don't answer. That smile, don't answer. Huh? Mother Earth started to cry and she said, the weight of sin is so unbearable. Help me, help me, help me. We live in a world among people who wish that they could cry out for help. But when they cry to you, you use that as an opportunity to laugh at them. They are ashamed to come because your reaction is not what it is supposed to be. Instead of being sympathetic towards others, we use them and make them into fools. When you look around, right here today in this community, a man was cremated or buried or something, but he committed suicide. If there are people we can confide in, people we can talk to, and people we can express our problems to, then that suicide will never be a thought. But we live in a world among hypocrites. Stand up with the urni in front of the Murti, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, and like a devil. Put on the dhoti, and in the middle of everything, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, and like a Rakshas. Makes no sense. You and I have to have the understanding that everybody's experience totally different. You and I have to understand and to get an appreciation that everybody's level of tolerance is totally different. You and I have to have the understanding that everybody's level of comprehension is different. The way I could talk with Ashish is not the way I could talk with Ishwar. I will say to Ashish anything. I'll go to Ishwar. Popo, do this. You have to talk to him totally different so that there will be some kind of understanding. You have to reach to the level of others and feel the pain of others. But we live in a world among people where everything is a joke. You spend all your time sitting and gossiping and talking about others. Anytime you start to talk about somebody, I gone, whoosh. I'm not in the conversation. I'm not talking about anybody. I don't want to hear about anybody. I want to tell you that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Problems come and they will go. Problems come and they will go. Problems come and they will go. But when there is suicide, what will happen? You go. You leave the problem behind and you go. Mother Earth, she's saying, save me. Bhagwan, save me. And you know what Lord Vishnu says? Lord Vishnu says, Mother Earth, whether you ask or you did not ask, I'd already planned in my mind to come. I'd already made up my mind to come. Today when we stood, an old lady from Freeport came. And she said to me, she said, I really want to talk to Nigel and Adira and Dave and Cindy and Malu and Lena. And she's calling everybody by their name. Ashish, she's calling everybody by their name. And you know what she says? She said, you cannot begin to imagine the blessing you are to the world. And this is what she's saying to them. I'm hearing, and in my mind I say, so what about me? In my mind, the ego asking, so what about me? Me. She said, you can't begin to imagine how blessed you are. This morning, I said to everybody, turn to the person next to you and ask them, are you living your life to your truest potential? Tonight, I want you to turn to the person next to you and ask them, you have any clue how blessed you are? Ask them. Ask them. Do you have any clue how blessed you are? Ask them. And you say, me? I blessed? You ain't know how much trouble I have. My knee hurting, my foot hurting, my stomach hurting, my head hurting. How come your mouth is hurting? Why your mouth not hurting to stop complaining? Anytime you complain, the insignificant becomes very... Anything that you pay no heed to, it goes away. It disappears on its own. But you sit down and mining trouble now. So trouble grows. Trouble becomes unbearable. Trouble becomes unmanageable. Isn't it? He says, I had already planned to come. Go back, I'm coming. And Bhagwan Vishnu, before Mother Earth left, the echo came. Yada yada hi dharmasya granirbhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam swadamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya suduskritam dharma sanstarpanataya shambhavani yuge yuge. There is a decline in dharma. There is disrespect to the holy beings and to the cows and to the holy animals. Worship is on the decline. And so I will manifest myself for the protection of those who are good, pious and noble. I am coming. I am coming. And as Lord Vishnu hears this, the cry of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth listens to what Lord Vishnu is saying, what happens? The Khadha takes us back into the prison cell of Devaki and Vasudeva. And now in the prison cell, something is happening again. Devaki is in family way. She is once more about to give birth to a second child. And as Devaki is about to give birth to a second child, What does it say to us? Shri Radhe Gopal Bhaju Mane Shri Radhe.
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 श्री परमात्मने नमः। देवकी और वसुदेव का पति और पत्नी करने वाले, देख और की रक्षा हो भगवान, दया करो कृपा करो। देवता काले जानते करने वाले, देख और दुख और सुख क्या करने वाले, उन्होंने का रक्षा दिया है, रक्षा दिया करने है। श्री राधे गोपाल भजु मन श्री राधे।
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 The second baby is born. The baby begins to cry. And as the baby is not just crying, the baby is screaming. The mother of today and father of today was a newborn baby, doesn't want the baby to cry at all. True or not? The minute the child will cry, they will run and rush to the aid of the child. In every room, there is a baby monitor. There's a baby monitor to monitor the baby, to have an idea of what is happening with the child at all times. In some instances, the monitor has a camera, what you could see from. And in some instances, there is a speaker. So you'll hear the cry of the child. Do you all know this? Do you all know this? In time gone by, the baby cry, and the grandmother say, let him cry. Let him scream a little bit, so he will become a good singer when he grow up. He opening up his throat and his voice. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that before? At the age of 1 and at the age of 2 and at the age of 3, they say, Baba, we had to do Suraswati Puja. The child can't talk, so we got to do little Suraswati Puja. And that's how you're saying it to her, like you two can't talk. Because Suraswati is your friend. Only when you need something, she's your friend. When you're having puja, you never remember to do Saraswati. But the minute you have an exam and the minute you have trouble with education and all of those things, all of a sudden you remember Saraswati. All of a sudden. She becomes your option. You sit down and you do the puja before the exam and put up the jhandi. And when you pass the exam, you forget Saraswati till the next exam. You didn't do a thank you to Saraswati. You did a begging to her, but you didn't do a thank you to her. When somebody don't show appreciation to you, how do you feel? When somebody doesn't show up, if somebody only comes to you and say, gimme, 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 I want, and they never say thank you, 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 and show any appreciation, how do you feel? Prabhu, how do you feel? You what? You feel hurt. What do you think Mother Saraswati is thinking about us? Huh? Cindy, what do you think Mother Saraswati is thinking of us? Exam, we remember her. But no exam, we never remember to do. Me doing that, I doing Mother Lashmi. I want money. My little nephew had the exam, oral exam, and the teacher is asking him, she says, at Diwali time, who did they worship? He said, Lada Machmi. The teacher called, she said, you sure this is your nephew? I said, yes. She said, well, I asked him, who do they worship at Diwali time? And he said, Lada Machmi. I said, miss, well, technically, he's right. He's telling you the right thing. She said, but he didn't say it proper. I said, you could understand what he's saying? You could understand what he's trying to say. He's a child. He can't pronounce it properly, but he has an idea. Mother Lakshmi. They are adults. They are adults who, when they say the name of the Devatas, they feel as though, Shiva is their friend. Are doing Shiva Puja. Huh? You never say, I'm doing Lord Shiva. Are doing Hanuman. Rukmin having the puja. I tell her the puja she's having. She go to the puja store. She said, you'll give me the flags. The lady asked her, so what puja are you having? She said, well, I'm having Hanuman and some other man. From the puja store, they call me. They say, so who is the other man? I say, I don't know. Ask Rukmin. And it sounds like a joke. But sometimes it happens to all of us. We are not able to tell. It is okay to admit that we don't know everything. But on the pathway to knowledge, many times we'll be laughed at, many times we'll be criticized, many times we'll be made to feel foolish. But all of those things help you to polish yourself. Now if you ask her, she'll tell you, I'm having Katha and Road. No longer Hanuman. She said, I'm having Katha and Road. If you ask her now. Because she learned from that. She grew from that. Poor Rukmin. Her name was mentioned in all of the Kathas today. That's your karma. It says, in the prison cell, they have given birth to the second child. And as they have given birth to the second child, comes down into the prison cell. He's furious. He looks at Devaki and he says, Devaki, can I have the baby? I want to see the baby. I want to see the child. And so Devaki is hesitant to give the child. And as Devaki is hesitant to take the child, comes, grabs the child. And holding the child, holds the child, the baby, by the neck. And as holds the baby by the neck, Devaki begins to cry. She already knows what is going to happen. Have you ever been hesitant to give people your baby to hold because you know how rough they are, how rugged they are? In the first few years of any infant's life, they don't come near to me, You know? Because I go to them and I say, Kuchi, Kuchi, Koo, I pinch you. And I pinch them. And they cry. Jagannath has a grandson named Shiva. Shiva reached a ripe age. Only now he will come. He will stand behind me and talk to me. Not in front of. How old is he now? 13. He stands behind me and talk. He nice to pinch. It says, holds the child by the neck and bashes the child on the wall. And bashing the child on the wall, Devaki is in family way for the third time. She's in family way for the fourth time. and does this to all of the children. And Devaki, she begins to cry. Devaki begins to cry and she's crying out to Bhagwan, Sunil, listen to my prayer. Listen to my prayer, Bhagwan. Devaki is crying. She can't understand the Leela that is unfolding. And Devaki begins to cry. Crying, Devaki is saying to Bhagwan. What is she saying? Listen.
Sunil, 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 मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान। हाथ जोड़ कर विनती करता ये बालक नादान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान। सुन ले, सुन ले, जिसने सहारा ये सब हारे, तेरा एक सहारा था। दीन दुखी जन का इस जग में तू ही तू रखवाला था। जिसने सहारा थे सब हारे, तेरा एक सहारा था। दीन दुखी जन का इस जग में तू ही तू रखवाला था। जुल्म के तूफान कैसे झेले, जुल्म के तूफान कैसे झेले एक नन्ही से कान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान। हाथ जोड़ कर विनती करता ये बालक नादान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान, मैं आया तेरे द्वारे बचा ले भगवान। सुन ले, सुन ले।
Devaki, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to do it. So Devaki puts her hands in the prison cell together and Devaki begins to cry. Sunil, listen. May Aya, I'm coming to you. Tere Dware. I'm standing in front of your door, Bhagavan. God, I'm standing in front of your door. Listen to my prayer. My heart is bleeding. I'm in pain. I'm in discomfort. I'm in distress. I need your help. Listen to my prayer. Devaki and Vasudev, they go to sleep. Devaki cries herself to sleep. Have you ever cried yourself to sleep before? Their mothers and wives, they're forced to cry themselves to sleep. There's some mother-in-laws and father-in-laws who have become prisoners of their own home. You can't walk, you can't talk, you can't use your own washing machine. You have to make an appointment to go in your own kitchen. And the minute you talk, you're bad. You can't walk outside in your own yard. You become a prisoner to your home. A stranger who came from nowhere. It's not an in-law. It's a real outlaw. Huh? Outlaw, not in-law. She's crying. And she cries herself to sleep. And as Devaki goes to sleep, what will happen? You know what happens? Devaki is sleeping. And in her dream, in her sleep, she's having a sapna. What is a sapna? Huh? A dream. You ever had a sundar sapna before? Sundar means what? Beautiful. Sapna means dream. You ever had a sundar sapna, a beautiful dream before? Hello? You ever had a beautiful dream before? What's the most beautiful thing you ever dreamt? Huh? It says, in a dream, in an illusion, Lord Vishnu appeared in the prison cell himself. Chatur Bhuja, Shank, Chak, Bhada, Parma, having all of the Shank and the Chakra and the Gada and the Parma, and standing on the lotus flower. Having these four arms, radiant and blue. And Devaki and Vasudev falls to the feet of Bhagwan in this illusion. And they say, Bhagwan, how can we be reminded that you exist, Bhagwan? When life has been so unfair to us, how can we be reminded that you exist? And Lord Vishnu said, you want to remember me? Look up at the sky. And as long as you see blue, whether light or dark, know that I exist. Know that I exist. Look up in the sky. And as long as you see blue, day and night, the shade of blue changes. When Bhagwan took his avatar in the daytime as Rama, he manifested as light blue. But when Bhagwan takes his avatar as Krishna in the night time, dark blue. See why? As long as there is blue in the sky, light and dark, know that I exist. Listen to what he's saying. Know that I exist. And so Bhagwan, he says, listen to my instruction. He's giving an instruction. He says, listen to the instruction. I'm going to manifest myself in this prison cell. But when I come, in preparation for me, you must plan. And this is what you must do. This is what you must do. The seventh child will come. The fetus will be transferred from the womb of Devaki into the womb of Rohini. And so Rohini is going to be the carrier of the seventh child. I will do this Leela. He's saying, I will do this Leela. They call it surrogate mother. Have you ever heard? Have you ever heard that word? Surrogate mother? He says, leave the Leela to me. I will do this. But I will come as the eighth child. And when I come, I will come in the dead of night. The shackles will drop from your hands and your legs, and the prison door will swing open. But this is not to free you. This is to free me. When you do things, you do not do it for you. You do it for others. That's what our duty on the earth is for. To do seva, to make others happy. Bhagwan Krishna says the motto of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation is service to God is service to man, and when man is served, God becomes happy, and when our work on the earth becomes service to God through man, all things are added on to us. Bhagavad Gita. There was a query one day. Are we saying it wrong? Service to God is service to man, or service to man is service to God. But we can't change what scripture has said. We can't change it to suit us. We have to use it the way that scripture says it. Scripture says service to God is service to man. See God in those around you. Experience God in those around you. Not when you see them, you say, oh God, you know. Not when you look at them, you say, oh God. Huh? See God in those around you. And so Bhagwan Vishnu says, the prison cell will open. But this is to free me. Oh Vasudeva, you must take me out of that prison cell and out of that kingdom, across the river Yagna, to the home of Nanda and Yashoda. And in the home of Nanda and Yashoda, they will have a baby. Switch babies. Switch the babies. Bring their baby into the prison cell and leave me over there. And then Leave the rest up to me. Leave the rest up to me. Tonight I want to tell you that most things are better left in the care of Bhagwan. For you have no control over these. You have no control. There is no amount of money that we have, or riches, or wealth, or anything material that could buy us health. Is that true? Can you bargain? There is no amount of anything we have material that could bring back life when there is death. Can you bargain with that? Can you bargain with that? But we place our trust at the feet of Bhagwan. Bless us with health. Bless us with long life. Bless us with health. Bless us to be happy. Bless us to be peaceful. We're placing our trust at your feet, Bhagwan. We're leaving this petition at your feet. Take control, we are begging you. It says, Devaki and Vasudeva feels a sense of comfort hearing the words of Bhagwan Vishnu himself. And so Devaki, the seventh child, she's impregnated. But just as Bhagwan had narrated, the fetus was transferred into the womb of Rohini, and it was considered to be like a miscarriage. Kams was confused as to what was happening. He couldn't figure out what was happening. And just as Narad had predicted, Kams didn't know which child will be the eighth child because the seventh child went missing. And so the time came. You know which time came? The time came when the prison cell, it was midnight. And in the prison cell, the shackles drop off. And Devaki is no longer singing, Maya Tere Dware. She's not going to God. This time God is coming to her. A day will come when Bhagwan will come to us. And it is my promise, it is my vow that if God can't come, He will send. It is my promise, it is my vow that God never gives you more than you can. He never. He teaches us lessons through every being whom we come into contact with. He teaches us valuable lessons through the people around us. He teaches us and reminds us all the time that we are all not the same. Have you given thought to that? We are all not the same. We are all different. Our priorities are different. Our intentions are different. Our likes and our dislikes are different. We are all different, but all created in a unique way by Bhagwan, in His own way. And so, what will happen? Devaki is not singing, Maya Tere Dware. Devaki is overjoyed. The Lord has appeared in her prison cell. कान्हा कन्हैया नंद लाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू बरे
कान्हा कन्हैया नंद लाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी
कान्हा कन्हैया नंद लाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी
कान्हा कन्हैया नंद लाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी.
In the prison cell, the baby appears radiantly with this halo around the head, with this beautiful, brilliant aura. And as the baby appears, you know what Devaki does? She rips her sari to make a blanket for the child. She tears her sari and she makes a blanket for the child. And making this blanket for the child, they put him in a basket in which they get food. Putting the child in this basket, Devaki now has to part with the child. She has to part with this child whom she is considering to be her savior. She has to part with this child. And as Devaki holds the child, looking at the child, Devaki is happy and sad at the same time. Have you ever experienced sorrow and happiness at the same time? Have you ever experienced that before? Devaki. She hands over the baby to Vasudeva and she says, Vasudeva, quickly go. And Vasudeva takes the baby and he's not walking. Vasudeva is running. He's doing Bhagwan's Leela. He's performing the duty of Bhagwan. And he's not doing it dhire and lazy and korhi. He's doing it quickly. When you get a chance, do it quickly. Don't wait till somebody have to tell you. Get yourself in position to do. Nobody has to invite you to do anything if you want to do it. Is that true or not? You go to a place and you want to help, you'll find yourself in a position to help. Long ago, you were having a puja and you were having a Bhagwat. People didn't just come, They come with a knife in their back pocket to help you peel the pumpkin. Huh? In 2023, they come with container in their trunk. After you done do the work, and they say, Auntie Baba say the food is to carry. Ain't you cook to carry? So give me some now, let me carry. Huh? And then they go to the buffet. They know that no guest came yet, but they pack up to carry. And they pack up the curry and your guests didn't get. Because they didn't use their own conscience. If you know me, I go to most of your homes. But if you know me, you could check on your finger how much time I carry home something from your house. You could check. You could almost say never. Unless you force me. One day Auntie Radical looked at me. She said, come. I'm standing in front of the fridge with her. She take out all the food from in the fridge. She said, I want you to start eating this now. I said, what do you mean? She said, you brought all of this thing home here? You eat it. Water hot for you first. And how long you're taking to eat it? And I said, what do you mean? She said, you are bringing food and you're wasting it. It is a sin. You preach one thing and you practice something else. Water hot first. She said, I have an idea. Eat it shatain. She said, oh, and I open a container and I see black eye. You should eat that too. You should mix the shatain and the black eye together. Two things I love. Huh? She said, mix it. And she said, you could put some rice and curry on top of it and you could make your own pilau. She said, I'm telling you, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying to you. If you're not going to eat it, do not bring it. Do not waste. There are people who don't have food. You are wasting. It is a sin. Listen to what she's telling me, the pundit. When I come to your home and you say, carry piece of roti now, and I say, no. You say, oh, carry it for Auntie Radhika. I start to sweat instantly. Because chances are she might blend that in my smoothie in the morning and put the roti inside of there and I'll have to drink it. So when I tell you no, it's not because I'm disrespecting you. It's because wasting food is a pap, is a sin. It will take you straight to hell. My mother said to me very, very early in my lifetime, before I was even a pundit, she said, you never go to anybody's house and tell them you feeling to eat nothing. You're living in a house. You're feeling to eat something, ask for it home. You don't go and dictate to anybody you want anything. If ever I say to you I want something, you're real lucky, you know. Because I don't ever, never, ever ask for anything. Auntie Radhika came this morning to put a puja date. She said, what to cook? I'm cooking exactly what you want. I say, you cook exactly what you cook and I go eat that. That's what I want. I don't want you to make anything for me special. We are all special together. You bring the kuchina and you say, I make that for you, not me. I'm not eating that. I sharing that with everybody. Me, Dave, Nigel, all of we going Jaya Bia Kela together. I'm not having nothing special that you make for me. I share in lock, stock and barrel. Sintra going to. I'm carrying her. Anywhere I'm going, I'm carrying her. We all going together. You ever see? Anytime I pass by the table and I break in and shine for you, it's because somebody give me, you know. We all going together. I eat in it too, don't worry. But we all going together. one happy family. You must never be too quick to accept what is being given. You never know the intention or the reason why it is being given. You never know. And so, you know what will happen? Vasudeva is going jaldi quickly, but he reaches to the river Yamuna. And as Vasudeva reaches to the river Yamuna, the water of the Yamuna begins to rise. And the water has reached the nostrils of Vasudeva. And Vasudeva has this basket on his head and water drowning him. Vasudeva, what will he do? Vasudeva has to cross this river. But the little baby inside of there knows the reason why the Yamuna is coming up. The Yamuna wants to touch the baby. The Yamuna wants to just touch the baby. And Krishna puts his foot out of the basket and touches the river, the water, and the water goes down. So too, once Krishna touches our life, our problems go away. So too, once Krishna intervenes in our life, then the impossible becomes possible. Mukam karoti vachalam pangulam gayate girim yat kripatamaham vanne paramanandamadavam. The dumb speaks, the blind see, the deaf hears, the lame begins to walk, and the problems go away on their own. But there must be intervention from Krishna. You must invite him to intervene. And so what will happen? He reaches the Nanda Baba and Yashoda's home. He quickly switches the baby and he brings their baby into the prison cell. And you know what happens? The prison door closes, the shackles go back on their hands, and Devaki is holding the baby, and Devaki recognizes that this is not a boy, this is a girl. Devaki looking at the beautiful, brilliant, adorable little baby girl, and you know what Devaki says? Devaki says, Popo, don't cry. Devaki says, Popo, don't cry. The little child running and fall down, and you pay no heed to the child. You know what the child will do? The child will get up and dust himself off and continue to run again. But the little child fall down and you say, Popo, oh, you fall down. The child start to cry as though he will die. Is that true or not? Huh? You too. Something happened to you when you're passing and something scrape you or some kind of thing. And it have a scab and it already dry, and then afterwards you see it and it almost dry enough, but you start to feel pain. Because you saw it and now it begins to pain you. It's more mental than anything. It's more mental than anything. Devaki looks at the little girl and Devaki says, please do not. Children have a unique way of doing everything they're told not to. Ask me as a Charan. Sharon, you is a Charan too? Because I feel you behave the same way. Children have a unique way of doing what they're told not to do. Don't touch the oven, you'll get burned. And every one of us touched the oven. And until you didn't get burned, you never realize why they tell you don't touch the oven. They tell every single one of us, that's a maribone nest, that's a Jack Spanier nest. If you go near to that, you'll get sting. But the only how you appreciate that is when you get a sting. True or not? Huh? I don't know about you. I had a real nice childhood, you know. Gerald, I got a bicycle for Christmas. And they were building box train on the road. And we live up on a hill. And my grandfather put me on the bicycle and pushed me down the hill. And I land up on top the boulders heap. And when I come back home now, rip away my two knees, my grandmother pulled me by my shirt and put me by the pipe and mix some salt and water, and she said, drink this. She said, how are you feeling? I said, good. And she take her left hand. Never do that again. Motion and words together. It takes me a few months to get back on the bike, you know. Because I feel every time I get on it, I'll get it again. But those things are memories and things that live on. Those are the experiences that help you to polish yourself, to appreciate and to think about how to protect yourself from causing harm to yourself. The little child begins to scream, not cry, scream at the top of her voice. And as the child begins to scream at the top of her voice, you know what will happen? Comes is awakened. It is night. Comes is awakened. And comes is coming down to the prison cell. And as comes enters into the prison cell, the devatas in the heavens, you know what they're doing? Janani ma, Jai Jag Janani ma,
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 Prema Vahini ma, Prema Vahini ma,
Prema Vahini ma,
Gyan Vahini ma, Gyan Vahini